Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justin, and today I will be discussing the 2019 NHK Trophy, which just happened in Japan. It is the last competition of the Grand Prix series, and we get a little bit of a break before the Grand Prix final in 2 weeks, so there are some interesting things to discuss. I don't know about you all, but I felt like there was a lot of amazing skating at NHK this past weekend, and that can't be said for every skating competition there is. For example, a lot of us skating fans like to nickname Cup of China as Cup of Disaster because we tend to see year after year some really surprisingly not great skates from skaters we expect to do well there. But that wasn't the case here for the most part in NHK Trophy, so let's just go ahead and discuss that. Let's start with the men's discipline, and let's go over the results. So, to no surprise, Yuzuru Hanyu of Japan wins the gold medal with a total score of 305.05. Then we have Kevin Aymoz of France winning the silver medal with a total score of 250.02. And then surprise podium placer from Canada, Roman Sadovsky, scores 247.50 for the competition. And then in fourth place, we have Sergei Voronov of Russia with a total score of 239.05. And then Jason Brown of the United States rounding out the top five with a total score of 231.27. Let's see how good of a job I do remembering the performances, because I really only watched every skate once, and normally I like to a few times before I film, so please forgive me if I'm missing anything in my recap. But Yuzuru Hanyu, I felt, did an amazing job, was practically perfect, flawless in the short program. That was effortless. It was great to see him so on. He looked super healthy, engaged the crowd as he always does, and I just can't help. He makes everything look so effortless while doing so much. And I feel like I'm going to say that about a few skaters in this competition in this recap because it's true. Like, to do so much, that's not easy. And to maintain speed, Yuzuru Hanyu does that, and he always finishes his programs so strong. I'd like to say the thing that I notice about Yuzu's skating in this competition, because I try to pick up something different each time I watch a skater perform, is his knee bend. He does such a good job of utilizing his entire body in the program, and a part of that is also a nod to the choreographers for utilizing his strengths and curating the perfect programs for Yuzu to succeed. And so I love seeing him go down on the knees, it comes straight back up, and also it's great to see the classic transitions out of the jumps and twizzle movements. He's such a beautiful skater. Same thing can be said about his free skate. There were some minor mistakes, super minor, that did not affect his performance at all. He did pop a toe jump, and I believe the triple toe on the back end of his combination towards the end of the program was called under-rotated. So that was unfortunate, but it did not hamper his result at all. I actually think he has a really beautiful triple Lutz. I know we like to focus on his quad, but I was also blown away by that opening quad loop. Whew. I think quad loops are hard because you don't have the toe pick to assist you in the air. So kudos to Yuzuru Hanyu for making it look so smooth and easy. Yuzuru Hanyu heads to the Grand Prix final, where he will go up against Nathan Chen, who has also had quite the winning streak lately. So it'll be interesting to see what the judges do with the two skaters when they are head to head. Now, I am a big fan of Nathan Chen's, but I'm not biased. I think that Yuzuru Hanyu definitely has the edge over Nathan Chen, artistically speaking, and I'd say they can even compete with each other technically. If they're both clean, I would definitely give it to Yuzuru Hanyu at the Grand Prix final, just because he has the artistic edge, and his choreography, I think, is a lot more difficult than what Nathan Chen does in his programs right now. But you never know. Nathan Chen has been receiving quite generous marks for his program components in the past few competitions. So it'll be interesting to see what the judges do and see who skates the cleaner program. But yeah, I think Brian Orser was quoted as saying that Yuzuru Hanyu's goal for this competition was not to injure himself, and I'd say that goal was met. Yuzuru Hanyu looks really healthy out on the ice, really he seems to be in really good competitive shape. So, yay, Yuzuru Hanyu. In second place, we have Kevin Amos. Aymoz? Am I saying it correct? I'm just going to go with Amos and you can correct me. From France. And definitely the highlight of any competition Kevin is in is his short program to the Prince song. I believe it's called Question of You. That program was made just for him. He is so charismatic and energetic, but yet has great skating skills. He's really fast and he really maximizes his capability to express emotion. I think that works for both the free skate and his short, but you could tell that every movement from him is big, is loud, is captivating for the audience. And in that short program to the Prince song, he hits every nuance to the song with choreographic movements. It is just so amazing to see. The jumps weren't quite easy for him in either program, this competition, but he did stand up enough. He did fight for a lot of the landings, the triple axels and the quads, to win the silver medal overall. Good for him. I like that his free program is quite different from the short, so we get to see two different sides of his skating. It's definitely a slower, softer piece of music, but also the expression is a little different. It's kind of, he gives the same energy for both programs, but the expression is different. So it's definitely more of a classical, slower, sophisticated piece, and actually a little more dramatic in the free skate, if I remember correctly. But yay, Kevin! It's nice to see a top Frenchman in skating qualifying for the Grand Prix finals. I'm so excited we get to see both of his programs, but especially the short in 2 weeks in Italy. That's where the Grand Prix final is being held. So really good news for him. More good news was we had a surprise podium placer in the men's discipline from Canada, Roman Sadovsky. Shout out to my friend Nolan. He's been on my videos before, if you don't know. Roman is one of his favorite Canadian male skaters, and it was quite surprising to see him win the bronze medal here, but I'm so glad that he seized the opportunity and he actually placed second in the free skate. Roman totally deserves this moment because he's such a beautiful skater. He has amazing spins. His skating quality is very light and airy, quite reminiscent to me of Joshua Ferris. Now, when I tweeted that out, a few people had responded and said that they always associated his skating style to be similar to Jeffrey Buttle, and I can also see that, but light, airy, while still having strength, really nice ice coverage, and smooth strokes. Let's see here. In the free skate, I definitely liked that he landed 2 clean quad Salchows. Like, look out, Nam Nguyen. At Nationals, if Roman is clean, ooh, he could be some competition. And don't get me wrong, I love Nam. He's one of my favorite skaters. Roman in his free skate, the first part of his music was very kind of quiet, haunting, and maybe a little eerie. And so it was just mesmerizing to watch Roman skate so clean and on the music. It created such a special moment for the first half. The second half of that free program got a little more difficult to hang on to. He did hold on to all the jumps, but they had to be step outs and they weren't totally clean, but they were towards the end, and overall it did not ruin the moment that he created. So I'm so happy for Roman of Canada. Congratulations on his first Grand Prix medal. And then in fourth place, we have Sergei Voronov of Russia. And I gotta say, he's not always my favorite skater to watch. He's definitely focused on the technical, and in the short program, that can actually be really appreciated when he's clean and a lot of the other men make mistakes, which did happen at NHK this past weekend. But when he's not clean, I don't feel his programs are well suited for his type of skating. Sometimes the costumes don't even match. What I can give Sergei credit for, though, is how much he tries. It's usually at the very end of the program. And if you want to see the perfect example of this, I'd say check out his free skate from NHK, it's like the last 20 seconds, he chooses to end strong with the step sequence and like the final pose. And that I can appreciate. Unfortunately, for a lot of the rest of his programs, they don't really work for me artistically. I'm not feeling the connection, personal connection to him, the programs. That being said, I do appreciate some qualities of his skating, and I do appreciate his focus on skating a clean program when the jumps are landed in a field where maybe some of the other men are making mistakes. And then we have Jason Brown of the United States finishing in 5th place overall. Here, overall, kind of a disappointing placement for him, but he did redeem himself. He was pretty far back after the short program. I believe he was in 8th place after the short. Let me confirm. Yeah, 8th and then 4th in the long to be 5th overall. So, mistakes are not good when made in the short program, and I believe he fell and missed the opportunity to do a combination. And then in the free skate, he did do a lot better, but unfortunately, he also had 2 falls. He gets kudos, though. He gets points for getting up right after the fall on the triple axel and posing right on the beat of the music. Like, that deserves some positive GOE. Am I right? Am I right? Still give him the deduction, though. That being said, Jason's quality of skating is so beautiful. I think the one thing I focus on when I watch him is his flexibility. That can be seen in the spiral sequences and the spins and in his Russian splits. He's also someone who's very committed to the choreography and really feels the music as opposed to skating along to it. Musicality just runs through his veins. That being said, you also need to be perfect technically when you are in such a difficult field. Kevin and Roman, Yuzuru Hanyu, obviously, and Sergei come with these big jumps, and when Jason likes to quad, you really have to bank on being perfect. But that being said, it sounds like he still is training them. When will we see them? We'll have to find out. I also want to say that the Japanese skater in 6th place, Soda Yamamoto, was a very pleasant surprise. It was nice watching him skate. He's an up-and-coming Japanese male skater, and I'd say he has some pretty solid fundamental skating skills. So as long as those jumps become clean in the future, I think he has a bright competitive career ahead of him, because when the jumps are landed, they do look good, and he looks like he enjoys skating, and I always like to see that when watching the sport. Okay, let's move on to the ladies next. So I'm really excited to talk about the ladies, mainly for the champion. But let me just run down the scores first. So Alena Kostornaia of Russia is in 1st place with a total score of 240 points, exactly. Rika Kihira of Japan wins the silver medal with a total score of 231.84. We have Alina Zagitova of Russia winning the bronze with a total score of 217.99. And then we have Yuhana Yokoi from Japan with a total score of 189.54. And then Japanese teammate Mako Yamashita close behind with a total score of 189.25. Wow, that was close for the 4th place there. But I'm really excited to talk about the ladies because I love Alena Kostornaia. I almost made a dedicated video talking about her season a few days ago, but then I thought, I can just express my love for her in the NHK recap. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alena is my favorite Russian figure skating lady right now. I think she has the it factor. She has such amazing skating skills, and the jumps are also really good, especially the triple axel. But what she does is she combines both aspects of the sport, technical and artistry, to create something great every time she's on the ice. I think I can't even think of the right way to describe it. She does so much in her programs, choreographically speaking, while making it all look so easy and effortless. There's never a dull moment in her programs, yet she is not rushing through the elements. It's a weird combination of having really nice speed and ice coverage, but also doing a lot with the choreography. It makes it so you can't take your eyes off of her when watching her skate. So the short program, she did the triple axel and the free skate too. I can't remember. Yes, she did 2 in the free skate. Like, wow. But going back to the short program, sorry, I'm being random. In the short program, she does every technical element to get the highest potential score. So the axel jump, she does a triple instead of a double, and then she saves her combination to be the last element so it can get the 10% bonus points. So she did the triple flip, triple toe as her last jumping pass. And what a decision to do so, that because that helps her get such a high score. Do you remember the days when it was sought after to seek a score over 70? Well, now that benchmark is 80. And to do that, you need to bring a triple axel. Because for the ladies, they cannot yet do a quad in the short program. Free skate, just as magical. I might say this when I talk about Rika, but Rika Kihira of Japan, who won the silver medal here, also does a triple axel. Alena, I prefer her triple axels because she tends to do transitions, better transitions and more difficult transitions in and out of them than Rika does. And I think there's a lot of variety to her jumps too. She doesn't do every jump with the hand over the head. This Alena Kostornaia is just great. Definitely my favorite Iteri skater. So let me move on to Rika Kihira, who's actually one of my favorite skaters. Just fabulous. I love both of her programs this season. I was talking with a friend last night. She did get some costume updates, and I'm not sure I prefer them. I really loved seeing her costumes that she had for Skate Canada International. The free skate green dress wasn't totally doing it for me, but the most important part of the competition, though, is the skating. And she did really well. The triple axel wasn't clean every time. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have not been so clean in the short. But I think the biggest difference between Rika and Alena would be the number of triple jumps in the free skate, because Alena does 8 triples, including 2 triple axels, whereas Rika just does 7. So if Rika wants to catch up, especially at the Grand Prix final, they'll both be there. She might want to think about her technical strategy, maybe doing another triple. And by the way, let's talk about how amazing these skaters are. All top 3 of the ladies here at NHK Trophy will be at the Grand Prix final, so we will get to see this matchup again. Alina Zagitova of Russia wins the bronze medal here with 2 very respectable skates, I must add. She is the reigning Olympic champion, has a long list of accolades to her name, but the bronze medal here was not because she skated poorly, was because the competition was so stiff. Alina Zagitova was relatively clean, minus the short program. She singled the second part of her combination, which totally put her behind in the short program. But even still, I believe she was in 3rd in the free skate segment as well. Yeah, 4th in the short, but 3rd in the free. But with very respectable skates, she's clean. I'm not sure I get the wow factor from her with these 2 programs, but I don't hate watching them. And I like seeing her deliver and execute the choreography really well. I've said in the past that a lot of times her programs are super extremely packed with choreographic movements that she doesn't hold any positions. And I actually think she's doing a better job of not overloading us with movements throughout the program. There's still a lot, but not as much as before, so I can appreciate that. What else do I want to say about Alina Zagitova? So another reason why she is in 3rd place overall is because she does not have either a quad or triple axel. She does get scored really high in program components though, like higher than Alina, which I absolutely disagree with. I think Alina, for being much younger, skates in a much more sophisticated and mature fashion, especially for her age. Zagitova does not quite have the finesse that Alina does, despite being reigning Olympic champion. So that's just one thing I would disagree with for the marks. I also believe that Rika Kihira could have been scored higher in program components as well. But all three of these ladies will be going to the Grand Prix final. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. They will be joined by Brady Tennell and two other Russian skaters. I should have made a bet with someone earlier in the season. Another skating fan was adamant that 5 Russian ladies would qualify for the final, and I said, no, I really think it's going to be 4. I would have won if I made that a bet. Maybe next time. But back to the skating. So the ladies, special shout out to my friend Nolan again. One of his favorite skaters, Yuhana Yokoi of Japan, was in 4th place, and this is great for her. She has some very beautiful skating qualities. She was awarded in program component marks because her Japanese teammate, who finished just below her, Mako Yamashita, was cleaner on the jumps in both programs, but was given lower program component marks, whereas Yuhana made some mistakes. But overall, I think Yuhana is the one that's more enjoyable to watch. Nolan, I can totally see why she is one of your favorites. Very elegant and very joyous on the ice. I would say that opening double axel looks really good. It'd be interesting to see it become a triple one day. Nolan was telling me over Messenger yesterday that she's been teasing it for a while in practices, but hasn't attempted it in competition yet. So maybe that's something we'd see from her in the future. I can totally see that happening because there is some room in that double axel for another rotation. And if she's clean with all of her other triple jumps and adds a triple axel, I would expect her to rise in the ranks relatively quickly, especially nationally in Japan. Is there anyone else I want to discuss? Karen Chen had a really nice short program. It was sad to see her drop so far after the free skate, though. Had some rough falls. The technical content just wasn't there for her. I will say a positive to watching Karen Chen skate is when she spins, you sometimes forget all about the jumps because the positions are so beautiful, the speed, the centering is on point, but you need the jumps to do well in competitions. And then it was great to see my girl Kailani Craine of Australia compete in her 2nd Grand Prix. This is the first season she's had 2 Grand Prix competitions, and I'm so happy for her for placing in the top 10 in each of these events. I like her short program a lot. It's sexy, it's fun, it's too I like it like that. It's nice to see her stay on her feet. Over more times, she is going to want to address under rotations in her jump and maybe tweak the technique, but otherwise I love this exposure for Australian figure skaters. So go Kailani Craine. Next up, let's talk about pairs. To no surprise, the Chinese pair win the gold medal here. Wenjing Sui and Cong Han won the gold medal with a total score of 226.96, and then the Canadians Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinaro win the silver medal with a total score of 208.49. And then in 3rd place we have Anastasia Mishina and Alexander Gilyamov with a total score of 203.35. And then I will talk about the other Russians or the other skaters in a bit, but Wenjing Sui and Cong Han, they are amazing. Everything they do is great. I'm going to repeat this again, so don't come for me. I'm aware I'm doing it. So much is done in their programs, but they make it look so easy. They make all of those expressive movements just seem like second nature to them. One special thing about Sui and Han is that in their free skate, they got an applause from the audience after the first 5 seconds for just doing a simple acrobatic choreographic move. It was not an element, not a lift, not a jump, not a spin. It was a choreographic moment, and the audience loved it. Short program, perfect. I'd say for these two skaters who are relatively petite, they skate really big. They project upwards to the audience. I think I say this about Shoma Uno sometimes. Like you can see, especially Wenjing Sui, the stretch in the arms out and up, very expressive. I have to say they give it all in the face without it ever being tacky or too much. It's like they're doing theater on ice and jumps, and they're selling a romance novel that takes place in an ice skating or figure skating competition. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They are so good. I believe their show program was one of the best they've done in quite some time. The free skate was just as amazing. They just had a really unfortunate fall when Wenjing Sui fell on one of the side-by-side jumps, but guess what? That was early on in that program, and that did not hinder the rest of their free skate. Everything was amazing. Let me see if I can look at the protocols here. Free skate, wow, a lot of 4s, some 5s, the program component marks, all 9s, all really well deserved. Yeah, that's all I can really say about them. If you're going to watch any of the pairs, definitely watch the gold and silver medalists here at NHK Trophy, because Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinaro of Canada also had, dare I say it, the best skates as a partnership at NHK. Short and long, they did not miss a single beat. They did not make a single misstep. And that is huge because Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinaro have had quite a journey in their partnership. It did take a little while in the beginning for them to gel together. And then at one point they gelled, but the technical content was slipping away from them. I don't know what was in the air in Japan, what was in the water there in the ocean, but everything just came together, both programs, as I said earlier. So that was really great to see. It was great to see Kirsten Moore-Towers in that beautiful midnight blue dress for the short program. The free skate was where it was at for me. They created such a romantic, sophisticated moment. Everything was on. I'd say Kirsten Moore-Towers looks like a figure skating technical goddess with what she's able to pull off. The landings on the throws. She is just such a strong skater girl, especially when she lands the throw triple loop. I love seeing throw triple loops. That's my personal favorites. The lifts were on. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? They were perfect. Now, we just need to hope that they did not peak too soon. They do qualify for the Grand Prix final, so it'd be great to see how they do up against the other pairs there. It's going to be tough to win a medal, but it's not out of the realms of possibility, especially if they skate the way they did here. The one thing I would probably critique them on is the triple twist. While it has improved and it does get positive GOE, that technique is different for me to see, and maybe it could get higher GOE and a higher level if the technique was tweaked so that it went more up rather than slanted sideways. Anyways, I would like to see more height in their triple twist. I think it's a technique thing though, but do whatever's best for you. But yay, so happy for Kirsten and Michael. Shout out to Naomi. Naomi's my friend and she absolutely loves that pair team. Then in third place, we have Anastasia Mishina and Alexander Galyamov, and this is their second medal this season on the Grand Prix. I actually enjoyed watching their performances here than at their first Grand Prix event. They are more of a young, dynamic Russian pair, and they do give a lot of drama. They have a lot of power in their technical elements. They aren't quite my favorite to watch. I think it's just an aesthetic thing. Maybe it's their programs, although I do give them kudos for having different-esque and unique programs compared to some other pair skatings that we see. It's actually a very Russian style though, so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. But this is a good result for them, so I'm happy that they won their second medal on the Grand Prix circuit. Any other pairs I want to talk about? I did see Elisa Efimova and Alexander Korovin of Russia in fourth place. I actually enjoyed watching them a little better than the Russians who placed in third place. They just, something about their energy resonates with me a little more. Maybe it's like less dramatic and I don't know. I'm not doing a good job of describing things. Anyways, their energy just resonates with me a little more. They were just hindered by mistakes, especially in that free skate. But otherwise, I do enjoy watching them. And the other pairs, ooh. Okay, I will say, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara of Japan. Wow, they are so pleasant to watch. I have never seen them skate before, and I rewatched their programs twice because they were such a joy to look at. They actually have quite the potential. Their free skate was to fix you, and I know a lot of Americans like to associate that music with Alex and Maya Shibutani's free dance, but it worked for them as a pair's free skate performance. They did have one mistake. It did not bother me. I like seeing how much they smiled at the end of their program. You could just tell that they're so happy to be competing, and that makes me happy as a skating fan who's watching as well. Americans, we will discuss them in a separate video. Not right now. And then I do apologize, I do not have time to cover ice dance. Maybe I will in a separate video on its own. I did see the results though, so very interesting. And I will say that I will be back for another video previewing the Grand Prix final with a friend. He has not been on my channel before, so I'm really excited to have him on. I hope you all stay tuned and look forward to that video, as well as a recap with a different friend as well. So I'm going to bring more video content, but so far, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.